pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order, our regular meeting Tuesday, August 2nd. We'll start with roll call.
Vacant.
Yes.
Donlin.
Yes.
Lick.
Yes.
Sturgeon.
Yes.
Runs.
Yes.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. First item of business, we have a hearing. So at the July 19, 2022 meeting, the council set this date and time to hear public comment regarding the proposed rezoning change of Majestic View Addition from R Rural to R1 Residential District. The lot is at the west end of 22nd Street Southeast that was constructed as part of the Dogwood 3rd Edition. I'd like to open the hearing and ask for any written or oral objections to the rezoning. Not seeing anyone wanting to comment on the rezoning, we will close the hearing and turn to the council.
Motion to approve first reading of ordinance number 973, amending zoning districts.
Second. Everybody second.
Everybody.
second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Sturgeon.
Yes.
Lick.
Yes.
Runs.
Yes.
Vacant.
Yes.
Donlin.
Yes.
This is one case where I could probably waive the third reading if you want it next time, so nobody shows up.
All right, general discussion, citizen comments. Open for any citizens that are here to comment. Thought you were gonna get up, Steve.
Nope.
Just crossing your legs. Like, oh, no.
Coaster.
Okay. Thumbs up award. Mike Donlin.
I'll throw out a thumbs up for Hardware Hank, our friend Scott Tegler. He prevailed in his presentation yesterday at Pella and successfully will receive a $20,000 grant for his project. Thumbs up, Scott.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Good job. Mr. Bruns.
That's second that, that's what I was gonna say also.
Art.
Yeah, thumbs up to all the volunteers that helped out at the Plum County Fair. It's a long, very popular event, and it's tougher and tougher and tougher to get volunteers. It takes a lot of people to make that thing happen. But, you know, I think it's a gem in our community, so thumbs up to all the volunteers.
I concur with both of those sentiments. I do want to add, we want to welcome Mark Gall to our meetings. He's our latest city employee, so our new community development director. So welcome, Mark. Mr. Wick.
I'll echo everything that's been said so far. It's been an awfully nice week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I know Scott put a lot of time into his presentation, and he was concerned that it wasn't gonna be enough, but it was, so congratulations to him, so.
Mark?
Start with me next time, I had those too, so.
Oh, good. Moving on to consent items. In the list of consent items, we have an approval of the July 19, 2022 regular meeting minutes, a list of bills for period ending 7/31/22, renewal of the liquor license beer and wine permit for The Bar, Casey's, Sweet 16 Lanes, Corkett, and a new 5-day liquor license to Bachers, a request to close the street for the YMCA, and urban revitalization tax exemptions.
What does that new 5-day liquor license entail for Bachers?
It's at the fairgrounds.
Oh, okay. Okay, that one.
Motion to approve consent items 1 through 5.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to action items. Number 1, vacant building ordinance. At the July 19, 2022 council meeting, the council approved the second reading of ordinance number 972 to add chapter 161 vacant building permit to the Lamar's Code of Ordinances. The ordinance would apply only to properties within the national and state recognized Lamar's Historic Downtown District or Downtown Historic District. Attached is a map of the area. This ordinance would give some assurance to property owners that a vacant building meets minimum standards and is not a potential or immediate safety risk. The administration recommends council approval. The fee for vacant building permit should also be set at $50. That's council recommendation. This fee will get added to the list of fees, licenses, and charges reviewed by each year by the council. Any discussion or questions on the vacant building ordinance?
Is everybody okay with 50?
Yeah.
That's been brought up.
It does not cover,
Getting into the fair.
what's that? It won't cover city costs, but I'm totally good with that number. Gotta start somewhere.
I would make a motion to approve the third reading of ordinance number 972 to add chapter 161 vacant building permit to the Lamar's Code of Ordinances.
Second?
A motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Friends,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Hitchhiker.
Yep.
Motion to adopt ordinance number 972 to add chapter 161 vacant building permit to the Lamar's Code of Ordinances on its third reading.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Friends,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Hitchhiker.
Yep.
Motion to adopt resolution number 2229, approving the fee of $50 for a vacant building permit to be added to the list of fees, licenses, and charges for calendar year 2022.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Friends,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Hitchhiker.
Yes.
Motion carried. Moving on to the 2023 7th Avenue Southeast K49 PCC overlay project. Slofeld Engineering has prepared plans and estimate of the cost of the 2023 7th Avenue Southeast K49 PCC overlay project. Final plans must be submitted to the Iowa DOT on August 16, 2022. The project is a joint project with Plymouth County extending from 8th Street Southeast to C38. The anticipated schedule is as follows: August 2, 2022, public hearing. August 16, 2022, public hearing to approve plans. November 15, 2022, bid letting, Iowa DOT. 2023 construction. The finances of this are STBG funds, $625,600, local road use tax funds, $286,132 for a total estimate of $911,732. The estimate in 2020 was $782,000 when the application was submitted.
I just correct 18th Street, that you said it.
Oh, excuse me, 18th Street.
Yeah, so I think we've talked about this before. So our initial funding was to happen in 2024. But in order to keep both the county's portion, because they're also receiving funds for it, and the city's portion aligned, ours was moved up. So process got speeded up and it's working fine so far. It'll put, so it's an overlay project, so it's gonna add at a minimum of 7 1/4 inches on top of what is out there already, because what's out there will be the base. There'll be a thin layer of asphalt put down to be a bond breaker, and then the concrete. So it'll be a full 31-foot wide street, curb and gutter on both sides. Currently, we're working through, I think I told you also, with right-of-way acquisitions, because we'll want to get our full 80-foot wide right-of-way, because we don't have it along that entire strip right now. So that's where we're currently working. But
Curb and gutter, just our portion or all the way to C-38?
the county portion won't have curb and gutter. The county's portion will have, their portion may be a little bit wider, shoulder-wise.
They usually rock theirs.
Yeah, they're gonna do a little wider concrete shoulder too, for this.
The
In
construction
any-
schedule's a little vague. You got like a season they might do it, or?
Well, it depends. I don't think typically with the DOT-led project, there's typically a late start date established. I don't think that's been established yet.
Okay.
Just next construction season, Mike. Is about all I know.
Why is that so?
Anything you see, the price did go, the estimate did go up. The STVG funds, that number is set, so that won't change. Just like past projects where we get this kind of funding, anything above and beyond is gonna be at the local cost.
Split proportionately.
No. No, so just like, so if it stayed at the 911, 732,
Right.
or no matter if that number changes, all we're ever gonna get from STVG is 625.6.
Okay. So the road use would go up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Here's the opposite.
Or down.
Motion to establish August 16th, 2022 at 12 p.m. as a date and time for public hearing on plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimate of cost for the 2023 7th Avenue Southeast K49 PCC overlay project.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to item number 3. Hawkeye Avenue and 12th Street Southwest intersection PCC replacement project award contract. Council set this as the date to consider the bid received for the Hawkeye Avenue and 12th Street Southwest intersection PCC replacement project. Bids were received and opened July 27, 2022 at 10 a.m. Attached are the bid results and a letter of recommendation from JDO. The estimate for the project was $169,700. Administration recommends council accept and award to I&A Construction LLP.
So although our bids were limited, they came in basically right at estimate. Couple other details, I mean, it's a 20 working days, with a late start date of September 28th, so it'll be this fall yet.
Is there any complete closures? I assume 12th Street will have to be.
Well, I don't remember that, Baylor. Portions of, for sure, there's gonna be a stage where you won't be able to cross the railroad tracks from the east to get on 75 when they're doing the strip closest to the railroad tracks. But for the most part, and then there'll be, I think there was 3 phases.
Yeah, so Baylor best knows JEO. So 12th Street, there will be 3 phases. One end of 12th Street will be closed off, and you'll only have access from the other end of 12th Street. And then the next phase will be, if I have my directions right, the south end of 12th Street. That will be closed off the portion adjacent to the highway. And then they'll have access from stage 1 that was recently completed. And then stage 3 will be the old business 75 Hawkeye Avenue. And that 12th Street across the railroad tracks will be closed off to complete that work. As well as if you're going northbound, or it's at an angle, but if you're going into town on Old 75, you won't be able to take a left-hand turn onto 12th Street because that'll just be two-way traffic just going through. So that's kind of the layout of the project, if that makes sense verbally.
Sure.
Motion to adopt resolution number 22-30, awarding the contract for Hawkeye Avenue and 12th Street Southwest intersection PCC replacement project to I&A Construction in the amount of $164,162.90.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Nick,
Yes.
Rich Highland,
Yeah.
Donald,
Yes,
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay. Discussion, Jason?
Yes, I've got a long list today. Rob, you already mentioned Mark is in the audience, all met him. He's been busy reading, making phone calls, taking phone calls, meeting people, so he's well on his way to establishing relationships and finding out needs and everything we ask. So, next thing, airport. We finally, there hasn't really been any activity. I guess they have been out there sporadically doing some trimming of the aggregate out there, the sub-base, but plant is still not there. They can't seem to get off of a previous or current project to get back up here. After a few weeks of asking for some kind of more defined schedule from them, they finally did submit one yesterday. So here is their time frame. They're pushing it, they're pushing the paving and the whole thing, a completion date back to September 19th. So a good month and a half yet before they anticipate being done. By the end of this week, they will be out of their 75 working days. So the penalties will start kicking in next week, and they're fully aware of that. I don't know much more we can do. Much more that we could do that would most likely harm us more. So we're basically at, I guess, the schedule of conduct at this point. So,
any concerns about the impact on users of the airport?
they're fully aware, they've been made aware of this schedule. At least our main user of the airport is fully aware of this. They're all right for now, I mean, because they've got their plane somewhere else during this construction, so.
Is there any point in time when the SAA steps in and says, this is a federal project, no?
Yeah, that was brought up. I
Because
mean, I
it
don't.
seems to me to be really loose. $30,000 on $1 million project seems like a drop in the bucket.
Exactly.
And so that's part of our problem. Maybe we need to take warning in the future, but I'm not sure I'm real happy with this casual, and I'm not blaming you, but this casual, we're at their mercy stuff.
Well, there really is, I mean, we had a good discussion with the engineers on what we could do. okay? I mean, FAA has also been notified of the schedule. I mean, so they're aware that they get the working day reports, they get those reports from the engineers, okay, on a weekly basis. So they're fully aware of where the project is. You know, I don't know at what point they would step in. You know, our ultimate action that we could perform would be, you know, terminate the contract. But then at that point, we run into the difficulty of, and then we gotta find another contract.
And litigate the amount of work they've already done.
Yeah, you're asking another contractor to come in and test that everything Goverson Smith did is sufficient, which it should be because it's been tested and we've had inspectors out there. And then take it from that point, but the difficulty of trying to find a contractor of that magnitude to do this magnitude of project isn't gonna be easy.
I get it.
Is we charge $1,000 a day penalty, is that customary, or does that need to be looked at in the future for?
Well,
so that
in most cases, it's
Gets their
based off
attention.
of the overall project and the
Okay.
cost of the project, and because I think the one we just awarded is maybe 600 or 500 a day.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I almost want to say ours might be $1,000 a day. If you guys have questions on that, IDOT does have a schedule or like a formula they use, so you might want to look at that.
But $1,000 has been typical.
Central Avenue was 1,000. That I
Yeah,
know.
if we look at what we're bidding, which will, I think it's next council meeting, we'll have the ultraviolet stuff at wastewater.
Okay.
It might be the next council meeting, but I think that one's a little bit different. And I think they went off of the formula you may be talking about, Baylor, because that's an odd number. But
Well, I don't want to get into a match with anybody, and I want it to move forward, but 30 days